language war has erupted yet again, and this time it's DMK lashing out at the centre over the SSC CGL exams. Why? Because the exams can only be conducted in Hindi or in English. In her latest tweet, DMK leader Kanimuri questioned the sovereignty of India and demanded that the exam be conducted in other regional languages as well. She also said that centre will do anything to keep the Kannadigas away from the government posts. Meanwhile, the Kannada Development Authority has been demanding that exams under the National Recruitment Agency be conducted in regional languages, including Kannada. Now, our managing editor Zaka Jacob spoke to a panel of guests about the centre's attempt to clean up the election process via reforms. Listen in.
I want to ask Sanju Verma, as far as elections in India are concerned, we have electoral rolls for Lok Sabha, which is separate, for Vidhan Sabha, which is separate, and for other municipal and panchayat elections, which are separate. And oftentimes, it is the case that one person who has voted in a Lok Sabha election suddenly finds his or her name not there in a Vidhan Sabha election electoral roll. Shouldn't we have one electoral roll that's cleaned up from time to time instead of having multiple electoral rolls?
You know, Zaka, that's a very pertinent and timely suggestion. And I'm sure those, in the know of things and watching their show will take cognizance of it. I think, apart from what you mentioned about multiplicity of electoral roles, if you go back in time over the last 7 to 8 odd years, on various platforms, Prime Minister Narendra Modi himself and his senior cabinet ministers have often said that rather than having an election every 6 months, be it a by-poll or a local body election or a panchayat election or a Vidhan Sabha election, why not have one nation, one election? And that is something that we intend delivering on going forward. But at this point in time, I just want to draw the attention of your audience to what is the moot point of the debate today. It is not just the Election Commission which is empowered under Articles C24, C25, C26, C27, C28 and C29 to ensure free and fair elections and take steps thereof. But the Supreme Court, way back in 2015, just 10 seconds, what did the Supreme Court say and which the Election Commission has reinforced while writing to various political parties to solicit their suggestions? The Supreme Court said, in the interest of transparency, level playing field and credibility of promise, it is expected that manifestos also reflect the rationale for the promises and broadly indicate the ways and means to meet the financial requirements for it. Trust of voters should be sought only on those promises which can possibly be fulfilled. This is the Supreme Court of India way back in 2015.
I think Aam Aadmi Party would be the first party in the country which spoke about transparency in donations. Now what happened subsequently, Zaka, central government came up with a law and made amendments which permitted anonymous funding and anonymous taking and anonymous giving. And also what happened, Zaka, is, in 2018, you will recall, the High Court of Delhi the Honorable High Court of Delhi had phatkaroed both these parties, that BJP and the Congress, that you are in violation of the FCRA Act. What did they do? They went back to the Parliament and brought in amendments in the FCRA Act which permitted them foreign donations since 1965. So all violations absolved.
Regulation I fully support if there are suggestions or there are suggestions made by Election Commission for regulating. I am totally in favor of regulating the polls, because in the name of polls a lot of trash is being shown to the viewer or printed in a newspaper. So regulation means transparency. When I say regulation, it is about transparency, about the methodology, about the funding sources of these polls, about the parties or the agencies who have commissioned these polls. So I am totally in favor of transparency about these polls, not only about the method, also about its publication, etc. But as I said earlier, I am not in favor of complete ban on opinion poll or exit poll.